call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Campbell.
Here.
Dempsey.
Here.
Fournier.
Here.
Hammond.
Here.
Krapp.
Here.
Rick.
Here.
Voorhees.
Here.
Okay, we will move on to announcements, acknowledgements, communications, and reports. At this time, we have a presentation of our local treasurer award to John Jordan. Mr. Jordan, do you want to meet me at the microphone? Is that okay, Darren? All right, so we, every year, appoint a local treasurer for Mount Clemens, and usually we have two. One is a resident of Mount Clemens, and another is a business owner. We have two candidates, but one couldn't be here today. So today we are going to present the Business Owner Local Treasurer Award. And so I'm going to first read one of the nominations. This one was written by Mr. Alonzo Hughes. And we received six? We received 6 nominations for Mr. Jordan, so this is just one of them. John operates Campbell's Barber and Beauty Shop, where he is a pillar of the community and has been for over a decade. John started his career as a barber under the tutelage of famed Darren Big Time DC Soup Campbell. That's a mouthful. Through his apprenticeship, John propelled himself to being a leading barber in the community. Upon Campbell's untimely death in 2015, Campbell's Barber and Beauty was transferred to John. Since then, John has continued to promote unity and excellence in the community. John is a selfless individual that will give his last to people in need. In fact, John is such an extraordinary person that many people stop by just to say hello. He never turns anyone away and treats everyone with dignity and respect. Not only does he promote dignity and respect, but he always gives back. He has been instrumental in donating and promoting numerous community backpack and coat drives, and he constantly works with local charities to feed the homeless and less fortunate. I feel his biggest act of selflessness is evident through the hundreds of free haircuts he gives out to people who are less fortunate. Age and social economic status are never a factor for John. He asks no questions and will give a haircut to anyone in need. He always says that people should be able to put their best foot forward, regardless of how much money they have. John Jordan owns Campbell's Barbershop and Beauty Shop, and although it's not the largest business in Mount Clemens, it has had a tremendous effect on the community. His selflessness is exhibited through the barbershop and community. Now, it is with great pleasure that today I present to you from the City of Mount Clemens Local Treasurer Award on behalf of the Mayor and City Commission. John Jordan is presented with the annual Local Treasurer Award for exemplary positive contributions to the City of Mount Clemens. Through his actions, Mr. Jordan has created a positive and lasting legacy for all members of our community to appreciate and be extremely proud of. John Jordan is hereby declared a local treasurer on this 20th day of March 2023. And all of the commissioners have signed.
Right.
Well, I just want to mention too that when we have the Santa Parade in, is that right? I know, what's the actual date though? It's usually the Saturday 18th. Okay, November 18th, 2023. You'll be given a car with, not like a car for the parade. Time out. You will ride in the parade in one of the cars with a banner that says Local Treasurer and John Jordan. So, if you want to. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for everything that you do for the community. we'll move on, sorry. We will move on to public participation, adoption of the agenda.
Mayor
I'll
Kopp,
entertain
I
motion.
move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Okay, now this is the portion of the meeting where we allow the public to participate. All that we ask is that you come to the microphone, you give us your full name, your residential address, and that you abide by our 3-minute rule. If you would like to address the commission, we'll take those in person first, and then we'll go to our Zoom meeting. You can approach the microphone. Not everybody at once. All right, we'll go to the Zoom meeting. Nobody? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we got one. All right.
Good evening. My name is Teresa McGarity, 19 Inches Street in Mount Clemens. I just wanted to say thank you. As a Mount Clemens resident, that you all agreed that the residents of Mount Clemens can get water assistance through Macomb Community Action Center. I like the way that we're looking to help our residents in Mount Clemens. I just wanted to tell you all thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Teresa, for bringing that to our attention last week. We really appreciate it. We're excited to be able to offer this program to our residents. All right. Anybody else on Zoom, Darren? Okay. We will then go ahead and move on to administrative responses. I'm not seeing any, but okay. We will move on to approval of minutes. Entertain a motion?
Motion to approve the March 6, 2023 meeting minutes for the City Commission.
Support.
Anybody have questions or comments about the minutes? Okay, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
All right, moving to general business. 9A, resolution adopting updated fees for community development services. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the attached resolution setting fees related to community development services.
Support.
Did you get that? Okay.
Hammond.
Campbell.
Campbell. Okay. 50-50.
Okay, either one. All right, go ahead, Mr. Shipman.
Now, the city last updated community development fees in 2017. Staff is recommending that the attached resolution be adopted, which would update fees for community development services effective July 1, 2023. And determining fee amounts, staff has taken into consideration public hearing notification costs, staff time to process requests, the last time specific fees were updated, and they researched other local municipalities and the state of Michigan fees. Notable highlights to the fee increases would be an increase in the fee for grass and weed cuts over 8 inches from $105 to $150 for residential properties, and from $157.50 to $200 for commercial properties. Note, this is the first increase in this area since 2011. Increasing the annual fee for the registration of vacant residential structures from $120 to $500, and this is the first increase since 2009. Lastly, calculating plan review fees for construction documents based on a percentage of construction value instead of a flat $200 fee. Again, this is the first increase since 2007.
All right, who has questions? Yes, Commissioner Dempsey.
There were a number of them that did not have any fees originally, and now they all have fees. Is that just something that we just overlooked at the past, or we found out that other communities are charging for those now? I was a little confused with that.
I'm assuming you're referring to some of the trade permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those is just bringing the language kind of up to modern day.
Okay.
A lot of the individual line items in our trade permits, the language in there probably dates back to the early 2000s. So some of it is just updating the language that we use now for different permit types.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious, because there was none, and then there'd be $50, and we didn't
Right.
charge before. and-
Right. So there just wasn't that line item on
In-
on our permits now,
Okay.
so, correct.
Thank you.
I have just one comment. Some of this stuff has been 10 or 10 years or better since we've increased. Is that correct? Is it possible that rather than, doing that quantum leap, from 125 to 500 on some permit, that we look at this perhaps every 2 years, maybe? Is that,
Sure. We can
Something
kind of
we
make
can
that
do?
directive and look at that.
I mean, I don't think it's out
Yeah,
of,
it's certainly our intent to not wait, 5 or 6 years to do fee updates.
yeah,
Definitely.
okay.
Gonna have
Okay.
people complaining.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
if we got one last year at 125, and now it's 500, somebody's gonna,
Last year, I know we discussed, with the grass cutting in particular, I know we discussed, it was a chronic problem for, for rental properties. We were having that as an issue for I would say frequent flyers on the, they didn't cut their lawn lists, seemed to be more, rental properties than they were single homeowner properties. Am I speaking out of turn here?
I don't know that for certain, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. I don't,
You remember looking at this list and saying that?
I'm just trying to think back to when
Yeah.
we were looking at.
I think that's when we moved some of the grass cutting bills to the taxes. I think somebody made a comment about, it looked
Yeah.
like some of them were,
I
quite a
think
few of them were rental
we
properties.
identified that it was rentals when we did the transfer to tax fee, and
And
we
I-
had those stats.
I'm just, the only reason I even bring it up is that I'm glad to see that, because we looked at what it costs to have a company come in and have your rental properties cut on a weekly or a bi-monthly basis, and it was cheaper to have the city cut your grass for you every couple of times a year instead of, so I'm glad to see this fee increase, because I'm hoping that it'll deter some of these landlords who don't live in the city and aren't necessarily good stewards of the city. So I'm really glad to see this. Is there anyone else who have questions or comments?
No.
All right, we will call the roll, please.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
Voorhees.
yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
All right, 9B, charitable gaming license in support of recognizing the Macomb Foster Closet as a nonprofit organization. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming licenses for the Macomb Foster Closet.
Support. This side of the table here, people, is dominating me.
We're so,
It's a tough thing
Not
sitting on the
to
end.
have a competition or anything, but.
Well, they had the last one, though.
Oh, okay, all right, we'll keep score. All right, Mr. Shipman, go ahead.
The Macomb County Foster Closet has provided much-needed clothing and other essential items to Mount Clemens children in foster care for the last 10 years. The organization aims to ease the abrupt transition that children in foster care face while finding themselves in an unfamiliar new home. Macomb Foster Closet wishes to conduct a raffle to aid their fundraising efforts, and they are applying for a charitable gaming license from the state of Michigan to do so. As part of the application process, state law requires that the local government subdivision in which the organization is based recognize it by resolution as a nonprofit organization in the community. Macomb Foster Closet is recognized by the Internal Revenue Service as a 501c3 organization.
Okay, excellent. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this one?
they're moving, are they not, to the old Salvation Army? No, the secondhand rose,
Yes.
right?
We have the.
That was the foster closet.
You want to, yeah, if you want to come to the
Yeah,
microphone, that's fine.
that'd be great.
And if, you have stuff for us, yep, that's fine.
There's some information to answer the question.
Okay.
Hi there, my name is Fred Huebner, one of the board members of the Macomb Foster Closet. I'm also a licensed foster and adoptive family, and have fostered several children and adopted one. So I'm deeply personally connected to the mission of the organization. We have been in Mount Clemens since 2014. We have been at the Family Resource Center in Mount Clemens since it opened. I want to say that was 2015. And we've been there from the time it opens now to the time it closes, sadly, this year on June 30th. So we had the wonderful opportunity of having a subsidized space there, which allowed us to save up a lot of money, knowing that the future may not be guaranteed there. And we have saved up the down payment and the renovation cost for a new building. So we are moving into the old, I want to say Turning Point, but Secondhand Rose, which is a Turning Point program, because they're moving into the old Salvation Army building.
Right.
So they're moving on, we're taking out their old space. So that's a big increase for us. We currently have 5,000 square feet where we're at. At times, we use other parts of the building up to 10,000 square feet, and it's still not enough. We're turning away semis full of donations from Sam's Club and other places. We can't process them because we don't have any place to store the materials. So this new place is 17,750 square feet. So we're excited that we probably will not have to turn donations away. And we're also going to be able to increase the number of kids that we serve because there is a limitation of the space. Our current store space is only 1,200 square feet. So this will radically increase that and the ability to turn over more donations to be able to service more children. So when we first started out, we were doing strictly foster children. Then we expanded to children adopted from foster care, and the reason that we did that was the failure rate on children adopted from foster care is around 40%. Because it's such a tough road. Children with FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. I've had no children through my house, not one single one, who hasn't had PTSD and FASD. And that's a tough road, and the families need a lot of support to be able to make it through that. A lot of resources need to go their way. Just like so many families that face a lot of various struggles, whether it be poverty or whatever, need resources at their disposal. So we brought them under the fold. Then we've expanded to kinship, because now 47% of children are not in traditional foster care, as we all might have known it when we were younger. They're in kinship placement. So you have a lot of families who are experiencing poverty who previously could not take those children in, so they went into foster care, but they do much better statistically if they stay with their families. So what we do is support now those kinship placements. So grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, and sometimes even older siblings, a brother or sister who's in their 20s. So that's what we support. And so we're hoping to continue in this new building, and we're in youth in transition now, 18 to 24. So the kids that are out of foster care or are in foster care at any point during their life, even for a single day, their statistics are horrible. 47% go homeless within the first 2 years of becoming adults. And so we want to change those statistics, and direct service, direct assistance into their hands is the best way to do that, as well as connecting them to all their various other resources that are available to them. Oftentimes they don't know. They suffer, sometimes cognitive issues, FASD, all this. Makes it hard for them sometimes to figure out the resources on their own. So we help them with that process too. In the new facility, we hope to expand even further partnerships, say, with Mount Clemens Public Schools or various other places, to just continue to expand the reach of what we can do for the entire community. Of not just our name is Macomb Foster Closet, but we service anybody that can make it to our facility.
Thank you so
Great
much.
organization.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? All right, we will go ahead and call the roll, please.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
All right, we will move on to general business C, city DDA tax capture sharing agreement for 65 Market Street. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the captured assessed value sharing agreement between Mount Clemens DDA and City of Mount Clemens, 65 Market Street.
All right.
Support.
Good job, guys. Good job. All right, Mr. Shipman.
In 2009, the city approved a brownfield plan for the Station 65 redevelopment project located at 65 Market Street, known as Partners in Architecture. The tax increment revenue projections under the brownfield plan assume the expiration of the DDA plan in 2021, which would have made local operating taxes available for capture by the Brownfield Authority, which could then reimburse the developer for certain eligible expenses. However, the DDA and the city extended the duration of the DDA plan through 2041, which extends capture by the DDA, thus not allowing capture by the Brownfield Authority. To address this, the DDA and the city can enter into a sharing agreement to share back with the city a portion of the captured assessed value of the property located at 65 Market Street. This would then allow the Brownfield Authority to properly reimburse Station 65. The DDA reviewed this agreement on March 1st, 2023, and approved it unanimously.
I think I'll start by saying, it's not that the DDA didn't look at this and say, ooh, this is unfortunate, because of course it would have been an addition to the DDA budget. It wasn't as if the DDA members didn't say, wait a minute, how did this happen? We did. But we voted on it unanimously because it was the right thing to do. 65 Market Street was held up their end of the deal and should be properly reimbursed, even though it, wasn't the way that, it didn't work out the way that the city had originally planned. So the DDA felt as though it was the right thing to do. And also Partners in Architecture has turned a building that was run down and in need of revitalization, and did a great job of it. And so, it would not have been the right thing for the DDA to do, or the city to not properly reimburse. So we were happy to unanimously do our part in agreeing to this, to give back the capture.
What was the total amount? Do you remember? I'm looking here for
the total
years.
amount.
I
for
want
the
to say it was like,
brownfield?
total amount of the brownfield? I don't, but I think it was like gonna add, it was gonna add like, I think,
Wasn't it 200 something?
I thought it was 170 or something, because it was 17,000
About
or something.
$181,000 approximately that they
Yeah.
would be reimbursed.
So,
So it's going to be split between the DDA and...
no, the DDA is just giving what we would have gotten from that property, which is like 17 to 20,000 annually. We're
I
giving
see.
that back.
So the total's 180 we're giving back, 180,000.
So,
roughly.
Ish, yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's coming out of the DDA funds?
No, it really isn't coming out of the DDA fund. Go ahead, Brian.
It's going to be $17,000 to $20,000 annually for approximately 5 to 6 years.
So you won't-
That's revenue the DDA would not be seeing.
Okay.
They haven't
So
been
that's
seeing it
that.
yet anyways, so
Okay.
it's really a net zero hit to the DDA budget.
Okay,
And obviously, it's no impact to the city general fund.
okay.
And there was
It's
an
very confusing to me.
Oprah when this development was approved. There was an Oprah, and the Oprah expired in 2021, a 12-year Oprah. So there were no taxes
At all.
being collected. So the DDA had not been receiving
Right.
these monies.
But it would have kicked in now.
Right.
So,
What a tangled web we weave.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that these types of agreements are very common for when there's a brownfield plan within a DDA district. You typically see this sharing agreement on the front end as part of the brownfield plan approval. That
So
was
when we
not-
do an-
That was not done in this
Right.
case because whoever presupposed that the DDA was going away in 2021, and that the brownfield authority would be able to capture those taxes. And by extending the DDA plan, that's no longer the case.
It was very confusing. I mean, I'm sorry, I was trying to make heads or tails out of it, and I just thought, it just didn't make sense to me, why it wasn't up front when they originally did their renovation. Because we're all brownfield, the whole city is, so.
we, next time we have a brownfield, we'll definitely make sure that this is at the beginning and all parties are aware, so that way
Yeah.
we don't have this live and learn kind of situation, so. All right, does anybody have any other questions or comments, or any of the parties involved? All right, thank you. We'll call the roll, please.
Crop,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on to general business, item D, low-income household water assistant agreement. Entertain a motion?
I move to approve the captured assessed value sharing agreement, no, sorry, wrong one.
Sorry, wrong one.
Disregard.
Do over.
It's okay, it's your first one. No pressure.
Hurry up.
I move to approve the low-income household water assistance program agreement as presented and authorize the execution of the contract by the appropriate city officials.
Support. Perfect. Mr.
Good job.
Shipman.
The Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program, also known as LEWAP, is a temporary emergency program to help low-income households pay overdue water and wastewater bills. Michigan received emergency funding from Congress to administer this program. Funding is administered through Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to community action agencies statewide until September 30th, 2023, unless depleted prior to that date. I will just add that they believe that will be extended past that date. I think it will be funded for at least another year. Allowable services include direct past due water bill assistance for household accounts in arrears or disconnect status, including reconnection fees when services have been disconnected. Qualified water bill account holders must be a residential account, be in arrears or disconnect status, be under the 150% federal poverty level and/or actively receiving Family Independence Program, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, Food Assistance Program, Supplemental Assistance Program, State Emergency Relief, or Social Security Supplemental Income. To be eligible for payment, providers must complete a WELOP participation agreement before receiving payments on behalf of eligible customers. The agreement is valid for the duration of the program, and a LEWAP payment shall guarantee service for at least 90 days after receipt of payment. Participation is voluntary for water and wastewater providers. Community action agencies will work with water and wastewater providers to implement the program and engage in outreach to residents. Attached for your review is the LEWAP Memorandum of Understanding. This agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
How do we plan to notify the residents?
So, obviously, we'll put it out on all of our social media. We're going to put this out along with the water bills. But also, what's nice about this program is if we turn over the names and contact info of all the people that meet this situation, they'll contact them for us independently.
They being Macomb Community Action.
Yes.
So thank Teresa McGarity again.
Yes.
Sure.
It's a good thing.
Anybody else? All right, call the roll, please.
Rick.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes. All right, 9E, purchases and payments of invoices.
Move to approve purchase and payment of invoices as presented.
Support.
All right, anybody have any questions, comments about this one?
I have a couple.
Yep.
If I may.
Yep, please.
On the, there was really no explanation why we took the highest vote for, the highest bidder on the landscaping service. There's 8 less cleanings, and it's about $22,000 more than the other bidder. And there was no explanation. Some of the other ones have explanations as to why. So I'm just curious why we're spending more money with less service.
Sure.
Yeah, so at a previous meeting, the other bidder was turned down by the commission. And then one of the reasons they were turned down is they weren't meeting the bid spec that was in place at the time, specifically that they were supposed to be done by 9 a.m. And I think maybe this is a little misleading when you look at the hours per week where it says 15. Because I believe that's actually 2 people at 15 hours per week versus 1 person for Champion at 24 hours a week.
Okay, see, that explanation would have helped me,
Yeah.
because I was, I was really concerned, we're spending more money for less work, and there was no real.
And I
reason.
think that's probably the problem, why they're not able to get done by the 9 a.m., because there's a lot to do, is I don't think it's possible to probably do that with 1 person. I'm told that there was 2 people doing that years ago when they had the contract.
Okay, thank you. And then my other question is with the courts.
Oh, yes.
Is
Yes.
there an action plan that the court has put together that this isn't going to happen again? Or
No.
too soon?
I mean, other than, there is an action plan, but it will happen again, is what they're thinking. It will be an annual, because the problem is the decrease in revenue from tickets and
So is there
problems.
any
Well,
You're
one-
saying there is no action plan in terms of they're not going to,
Well, they've already cut staff to, they're already 4 positions lower than what the state, their state governing agency says they need, 4 or 5. I think it's 4, but. They also, so they've cut staff, and that's really the bulk of their costs, right, are staff related. They've also, done a lot of mitigating with the budget, to try to make whole this budget deficit. What they believe, there's a couple of things that they're, at this point, waiting on, is the state Supreme Court is supposed to rule. They're waiting on, you remember, we heard about this in December. It still hasn't ruled on this situation. We do have a letter going to the Judiciary Committee to see if there's any movement from their sense, because from what we understand is when the Supreme Court votes on it, then it will go to the state to make it right? If they say it's unconstitutional and that the state has to fund the court systems at the district level, then the state has to then come up with this plan of how they're going to do that. And that will fall, from what we understand, into the Judiciary Committee's hands. So we're hoping, and that Jim McGrill is telling us that what he believes is happening is that they are putting that action plan into process right now, so that when the Supreme Court does make that ruling, they're ready for it.
if the revenue coming in, and I would assume then the work case is lower, are they looking at reducing a judge?
We've not been told that they are.
Because to me, that would make sense.
Mhm.
I mean, we're going to be on the hook for $82,900
Clinton Township
this year,
is
and Clinton
almost half a
Township
million.
is almost $500,000.
Right.
I mean, we're paying Clinton Township because Clinton Township's
Makes the
whole thing.
payment, right.
And that.
Yes.
Whatever happened to their building fund, the $1
We
million
used it-
building fund
we
that
u-
they had set aside for emergencies?
We used it during COVID to mitigate the loss of revenue then.
Okay.
So we've gone through that, and that's why we didn't have to make a payment last year, because there was significant losses last year as well. And then they have this, if you look, the $268,370 in their general fund.
saw that.
But we can't touch that. Obviously, they need to be able to operate, but also.
244 in their building.
Right, we did take the building fund.
You did? You took the
Yeah,
244?
the building fund.
Yes.
We used the building fund for this payment.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a problem, and we've obviously, and we are still in better financial shape than most of the district courts in the area, but also in the state. So, again, we've gone to the Judiciary Committee and their governing agency, which remind me, who is like.
State Court Administrator's Office.
Right, so that they've gone to them to say, listen, this is a problem.
They feel that the reason there's been no decision by the Supreme Court is that the Supreme Court is attempting to allow the legislature advance time. They're almost signaling how they're going to rule on the lawsuit, and they're hoping that the legislature will, right now, be developing a plan to take over the district court funding.
So we really need to consider budgeting almost
Yes.
for the next budget over 100,000.
Right, and I have said that
That
too.
we have to pay.
Yes, I mean, and we've
And
cut all of the all of the.
All of the communities, I
Yes, and we've
understand.
all basically put that in the hands of.
And
Yeah, I would-
the other thing is that the largest control unit has had a pretty severe decrease in the ticket writing, and that has led to
And I can kind of give
the
you a-
less revenue.
Right, they had a overtime change, they had several officers who worked the traffic division solely, retire, and I think
Okay.
So,
'Cause
I mean,
know-
they've had some shifts, but if you look at the numbers, we have two. I mean, we've also decreased, and so is Harrison. Obviously, we
Wow.
both have the sheriff, so the revenue is significantly down. I think it's 14% for us.
I know in the past, when it happened, communities would get together with the officer, you know, and
right.
talk about the fact that
We all have.
we can't sustain this.
We all
And-
have, but there's also that fine line of telling them to write more tickets.
No, I mean,
You
I
know?
don't think you tell them to write
Well,
more tickets, but you just.
One
kinda-
other thing that the court noticed too was that it's not necessarily just traffic. It was, they've legalized marijuana. And there was significant revenue from those tickets. So,
I would think there would still be some now that they're the opposite way, you know. But, well, I'm just concerned that, you know, we need to have some sort of an action plan, because I don't see how we can
Right.
continue. I mean, right
Exactly.
now, I mean, 82,000 is an employee
Right.
that we could
absolutely.
use, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
so
they
when
need
you have
to,
three
as you
judges
said.
sitting there and a
Right.
magistrate,
You
and
don't
there's
need
not
three
the
judges
work,
anymore. Right.
you know.
I will bring that up at our next, we have a meeting in June. And I will bring that up.
Some sort of action plan would be great to see that they're, but anyway, thank you.
No problem. Is there any other questions or comments on the payments and purchases and payments? All right, we'll go ahead and call the roll, please.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, we'll move to the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda as approved, presented.
Support. Call the roll, please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
Item 11, city managers report.
The new clerical position in community development has been filled. Please welcome Brittany Baisden to the team. Her first day was actually today. The executive confidential assistant position has also been filled, so please welcome Elaine Van Heis to the team, and she started on Monday, March 13th. Interviews are underway for the recreation coordinator position. A temporary employee was brought in to assist with recreation until that position is filled. 3 candidates have accepted contingent offers for the position of firefighter. We currently have 2 open positions and have an upcoming retirement in June. Upcoming events, May 12th and 13th, the Made in Michigan Artesian and Vendor Show will be held on Macomb Place and North Walnut. And please welcome Kauai Bubble Tea to the city. They will be opening soon on 75 North Main Street.
Excellent. All right, do you have any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the second opportunity for the public to address the commission. All that we ask is that you come to the microphone, give us your full name and your residential address, and that you abide by our 2-minute rule. We'll again go with everyone who's in public first, and then to our Zoom call. Is there anyone in public who would like to address the commission at this time? All right, we'll move on to Zoom. All right, we'll go ahead and go to commissioner comments, and we'll start with Commissioner Rick.
Thank you. First, I'd like to specifically congratulate our local treasurer. John, thank you for the work that you do here. It is appreciated. I'd also like to congratulate and thank Vicki Mazzola for her willingness to join the Planning Commission and serve there. And I'd like to welcome Brittany and Elaine to the city staff. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Voorhees.
I too would like to congratulate Mr. Jordan on your service to our city and to its residents. We do appreciate that. It's not so much a handout as it is a hand up, and you're doing a great job. With that, Once a Clemite, always a Clemite.
Thank you. Commissioner Dempsey.
Congratulations on the local treasure. I hope you do come to the Santa Parade. It's a nice venue to drive, or get driven anyway. So congratulations, and thank you, everything you do in the community. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
Again, thank you to the new local treasurer award. We've had many over the last years that we've started this, and it's always a pleasure to see somebody new receive an award that's doing good for the community. I also want to thank Elaine, the new confidential executive secretary, for helping with my email problems today. So that's it. Thank you.
Poor Elaine doesn't know the beginning of it with helping you.
She did a great job.
Oh, good. Commissioner Hammond.
Congratulations, Mr. Jordan. Campbell would be proud of you. Also, I want to thank Teresa McGarity for bringing the LEWAP assistance program to our attention, and we're able to bring that on board and hope the residents take advantage of that program. And also welcome Elaine and Brittany to the city of Mount Clemens.
Thank you. Commissioner Fournier.
Congratulations, John. It's all been said, but it's worth saying again. We appreciate everything you do in the city, and very, very glad you were nominated. I never saw anybody get that many nominations at one time. I mean, they just kept coming in. So congratulations. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. And I think the intent, the original intent for the Local Treasurer Award was to really recognize people who aren't necessarily in the limelight all the time, but are quietly doing amazing work in the community. And so I think what you do and what that that application really said, that nomination form really said about you, how you don't make a big deal out of it, you just help, right? And that sometimes is in the most slight way, but it makes a big impact on those who you're helping. And so thank you for all of that. And we want to continue to recognize people who are quietly doing the good work of helping people. So thanks so much. And I'll look forward to freezing alongside you in the parade. That always seems to be cold, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. I want to remind people to check out the new library. I say the new library because it's unrecognizable when you walk in, and you can't help but feel the energy when you do walk in there. My boys, who typically try to avoid any kind of event or walking into a place with me that is public, because then they know I'm going to get stopped and talked to, and they're of the teenage years, so they tend to avoid places like that. But now they've asked me, when are we going back to the library? So that's an exciting thing. I know it's a really great place that is doing amazing programming already, and that's exciting. So sign up for a class, or sign up for a speech, or take your kids and let them run around downstairs, and they don't even have to be quiet. It's an exciting thing. It's a great place. So thank you, Brandon. Thank you to the library staff. And I would like to also congratulate Kathy Cook. Kathy Cook is a longtime library employee. We believe actually she's the longest library employee. She served for 40 years. And since she's my mother-in-law's best friend, she won't kick me for saying that, I don't think. But yeah, she served for 40 years, and she did a great job. And so we want to congratulate her on her retirement, and now she'll get to spend a lot of time with her two beautiful granddaughters. And hopefully the good tradition of she was the person who bought resources for the library, and so her tradition will continue with the new employees. So I want to thank everybody for all their efforts at the library. And I too want to welcome Brittany and Elaine. I've had the pleasure of working with Elaine for the last week, and she's done a great job, and so I'm sure Brittany will as well. So we're excited to bring those new people on board. And I'm excited that next month, we will be getting rolling with our new Administrative Hearings Bureau and how we deal with blight in the city. So stay tuned for the rollout of that program and the exciting new opportunities that will bring to blight, and hopefully we'll get some great new results for it. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Close. Oh, I will entertain a motion for closed session.
Move to go into closed session.
With the purpose, for the purpose of,
For purpose.
To consider attorney-client privileged correspondence.
Move to go into closed session to review attorney-client privilege correspondence. Support.
all right, well, we'll take a 5-minute break then.
All those in favor?
Oh, so thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll go ahead and go into closed session. We will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Crop, I move that we adjourn.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good night, everyone. Thanks so much.